So in the world of the Minnesota Vikings, there's been a couple of things that's been going on. Nothing major worth raising hell about, but a couple of interesting things that happened the last couple of weeks in OTAs. And outside of that, this is the Mediokr Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Thank you for tuning in. Starting off with Michael Kendricks. So Michael Kendricks, I don't know if he was cut by the Eagles or if his contract just ran out and he was an unrestricted free agent. I don't remember that whole situation there. But the Minnesota Vikings, they hosted Michael Kendricks, brother of Eric Kendricks, also plays linebacker. So my thing was, I'd say, look, Michael Kendricks, he's a hell of a good linebacker. I say, hell, why not? Why not bring him in? My question would be, okay, now that you're hosting Michael Kendricks, clearly you have interest in him. What is your plan? What would your plan be for him? Okay, because the thing is, we play a lot of nickel sets out there. So most of the time we have two linebackers, Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr. Ben Gideon, he was there. But again, you don't see much of the field if you're playing nickel sets a lot. And my other thought was, oh, maybe this is the replacement for Anthony Barr. That would be great because I've said time and time again, if it were up to me, I would trade Anthony Barr. I would trade him so fast if it was up to me. Not because of the talent. The talent is there. He has the talent to be Von Miller. It's the effort levels, okay? I used to watch SpongeBob SquarePants as a kid. There was this episode where Plankton, the little Plankton character, he hacks into SpongeBob's brain trying to get the Krabby Patty recipe and just like hack SpongeBob's brain. I wish I could hack Rick Spielman's brain for a day and be like, you know what? I'm just going to shop this dude Anthony Barr and get whatever I can get. I would have traded him at the draft. But anyway, you're hosting Michael Kendricks, and ultimately he left. So he left to say, oh, okay, the team meeting, I saw there was a report that came out. The free agency meeting has concluded, and he's gone off to go visit another team. And the thing is, with the NFL free agency compared to NBA free agency is like night and day. Now, with NBA free agency, you got dudes, they go like 4 or 5 different teams. They listen to each team's pitch. And then they go back, they consult their family, and then they come up with a decision. Then they make an announcement. We decide to go here. The NFL doesn't work that way, okay? If a dude leaves your free agency meeting, okay, if a coveted free agent that you want leaves your team meeting without a deal being signed, he ain't coming back, okay? It is so rare for that to happen. Oh, let's look at all this stuff together and let's come up with a decision, blah, blah, blah. No, this is how the NFL works for the most part, unless you're like a top-tier quarterback and maybe you come, you get your thoughts around and say, okay, what should we do? But outside of that, if a free agent leaves your team and a deal isn't signed, that dude ain't coming back. So once it was announced that, oh, Michael Kendricks, he's going to go visit another team, I was like, all right, he's not coming back. And then he ended up signing with the Browns and then just started feuding with Ian Rappaport. So anyway, we ended up losing out on Michael Kendricks. And then going to Anthony Barr. Anthony Barr, look, at first it was initially reported, I believe he missed the first week, maybe 2 weeks of OTAs. And I posted on Facebook and Twitter, I posted that link saying, hey, Anthony Barr, he's missing the first week or two of OTAs. And I said, LOL. I was like, is this dude holding out? Is he really holding out until he gets that big contract? I mean, look, go get your money. It is what it is. I'm all about capitalism. Go get what it is that you think that you're worth. Now, the reason I say LOL is because your effort level. It is your effort level. When you have consistent question marks from him and the head coach himself as far as your effort levels, I'm sorry. And you're looking for a lucrative deal? Nah, man, forget that. But anyway, he ended up coming back. He was actually working out an insurance policy for himself. So I guess in case he gets hurt before signing that long-term deal that he's looking for, he'll be insured, which good for him. And all these players that are getting franchise tagged every year, or they're doing one-year deals, or they're at the end of their rookie contract, and they're looking for a deal, and go get an insurance policy. Go get it. Look, this is the way that the NFL works. I appreciate what Ndamukong Suh is doing. I appreciate what Le'Veon Bell is doing. As far as these, you know what? If you're not going to give me a long-term deal that I'm looking for, I'm just going to do a year-to-year deal with whatever the hell teams. I don't care. It's all about the money, okay? Because I personally feel like you might as well do that, because if you sign a long-term deal and, if for any reason that team can cut you later down the road depending on what your guaranteed money is and then only get a fraction of that, why even go through that? Just get a year-to-year deal for your maximum worth. And if you're going to do that, get an insurance policy. So I don't blame Anthony Barr. I think that was very smart of him to do. But here's the thing. His effort levels. And then not only that, he's not the focal point. Look, I said he's got the talent of Von Miller. He's not the focal point of this Vikings defense like Von Miller is for the Denver Broncos, okay? If you want to compare it to like the NBA type of standards, Von Miller on the Broncos is basically like LeBron James on the Cavs. Now, the difference is the supporting cast around Von Miller on Denver is really, really good. But Von Miller is what makes that defense go. Okay, there's no question about that. Anthony Barr, he's talented. There's nothing taken away from that. But he's not the focal point on his defense. The Vikings defense is the equivalent of like the Boston Celtics or the Golden State Warriors. There's no one focal point of this defense where it's like, oh man, he makes this whole thing go. No, it's a collective unit. You have to buy into the system. And even still, when Anthony Barr, he started off the first season last year great. He started off the first half of the last year great, and then the second half, he fell apart and he disappeared again, much to the tune of like Andrew Wiggins, okay? And so if you're going to do that and you're talking about you're looking for a big deal, because ever since your rookie year, he hasn't gotten necessarily worse as far as talent, but as far as, hey man, where are you? Can you do something, please? I would trade this dude so fast. So anyway, looking at that, if the Vikings are going to sign this dude to a lucrative deal, if they're going to give them the deal that he wants, I think they're making a huge mistake. Again, effort levels, not the focal point of this defense. And then not only that, priorities, the rest of the free agency priorities that you have heading into next offseason, Anthony Barr is at the bottom of the totem pole. Stephon Diggs is way more important. Trey Waynes, for everyone that likes to clown on him, he's way more important. And for everyone that's saying, well, Mike Hughes, he'll be the next replacement of Trey Waynes, okay, maybe that's the case. We still got questions on the nickel spot. We still got questions. Who's going to play nickel? Mackenzie Alexander? Are you trusting him? You might as well keep Trey Waynes, who's been very reliable and very underappreciated, and Mike Hughes. Why not keep him and with Xavier Rhodes? Keep all three. Trey Waynes is above the total poll compared to Anthony Barr. And then Danielle Hunter, I think that's the only question mark. Whereas, look, after this season, because last year he didn't really do all that great, but again, that was his first year as a starter. So let's see how he does this year, his second year as a starter, and then move forward. I think the Vikings would be smart. I think they'd be wise to start contract negotiations with Danielle Hunter after this season, after this upcoming 2018 season. That way you can decide, okay, is he going to take a step up? Like, was it, kind of like a, getting the feel of things, maybe seeing a few double teams, and now you figured it out? Or, oh, maybe this is the trend, and then maybe Anthony Barr will move up ahead of Danielle Hunter. But, again, I would trade Anthony Barr real quick. And I compare this situation as far as contract situations go with Anthony Barr. Let's say they end up giving Anthony Barr that long-term lucrative deal that he's looking for. I would compare that to Blair Walsh. And look, I'm not here to bash Blair Walsh. I'm making a conscious effort to not bash this dude, okay? I'm not here to do that. But I'm being dead serious when I say this. Blair Walsh, okay? Blair Walsh, his first 3 years, his first rookie year, he was great. He was fantastic. He made 92% of his field goals and all of his extra points. Then the second year, 2013, he took a little bit of a drop, 87% of his field goals, and he missed an extra point. Then his third year, 2014, he took a huge drop. He made 74% of his field goals. Okay, he made all of his extra points. But how do you go from 92%, 87% to 74% of your field goals made? Really? Look, I said this at the time. Look, that after the end of that third year, 2014, actually, no, even the second year, I was like, I don't know about this dude. We'll have to see. But especially in 2014, after that year was over, I said, look, there's something mental with this dude. As far as, look, when Blair Walsh misses a kick, it's game over. The rest of the game, you might as well forget it. He's lost for the rest of the day. Okay, that's why I like Kai Forbath so much. And I know we'll talk about Kai Forbath in the kicking competition he's having with Daniel Carson. But the thing with Kai Forbath is if he misses a kick, he can put it behind him and take a new kick on like as if nothing happened, okay? Blair Walsh, if he misses a kick, it's game over. He's done for the rest of the game, maybe even the rest of the season, okay? Now, after that third year, once he hit 74% of his field goals, the Minnesota Vikings then signed Blair Walsh to a 4-year extension of $14 million, $5.5 million guaranteed, okay? And that deal at the time made Blair Walsh one of the top 5 highest paid kickers in the NFL. Are you serious right now? So, again, Blair Walsh got progressively, or I don't even know if the word is progressively, each year he got worse and worse and worse. And what happened, I don't know if it's because Rick Spielman, you selected Blair Walsh, and damn it, we're going to stick with him, and you believe, and again, that's what Rick Spielman loves to do. He likes to stick with his picks to the bitter end. And I don't know if that's the case with Anthony Barr, because again, after each year, he hasn't gotten worse talent-wise, but as far as effort-wise, as far as what you're looking, I don't know what I'm going to expect for Anthony Barr on a game-to-game basis. Do you? I sure as hell don't. Eric Kendricks, I do. Harrison Smith, I do. Xavier Rhodes, I do. Okay? So don't talk to me about, oh, this dude, Anthony Barr, he deserves everything. I just don't understand it. He hasn't gotten better since his rookie year. I don't see it. Basically, the comparison with Blair Walsh and Anthony Barr, they've gotten worse throughout all the years that they've been here. But as far as if you give them that long-term deal that they're looking for, making them highly paid and all that stuff, that means you're banking on a bounce-back performance. You don't do that. You don't look at past performance as far as, oh, what he used to do. You're looking at the trends, the patterns right now. And the patterns right now is that Anthony Barr just isn't as valuable as everyone loves to make him out to be. So, again, I would trade him quick, fast, in a hurry. You might as well get something back from him. And then not only that, I'm sorry, Stephon Diggs, Trey Waynes, and Danielle Hunter, they take priorities over him right now. So, anyway, moving on from that, Daniel Carlson. Okay, Kai Forbath, I mentioned that a couple of minutes ago. Kai, apparently in training camp, and look, here's the thing. I didn't even, at the post-draft breakdown video that I did, I was against the Daniel Carlson pick, but I didn't even have time to talk about that because I was so just ticked off with not getting a valuable guard that you should have got like a Willie Hernandez or whatever. But anyway, I was against the pick because, what was he, a 5th-round pick or whatever he was, and then not only that, he struggled at the University of Auburn, but hey, you know what? Training camp so far, apparently Daniel Carlson is making every damn thing under the sun. And Kai Forbath is just a shade behind. Okay, so look, I like Kai Forbath. I like him a lot. That Saints game, that NFC, the divisional round against the Saints. Look, man, when it came up to go up, 23-21 before the Saints ended up going 24-23, Kai Forbath made that kick. If that was Blair Walsh, you already know what would have happened. So I like Kai Forbath a lot, but I understand if Daniel Carlson is outperforming him, that's just the way the NFL goes. And then not only that, Laquan Treadwell, I've seen a couple of articles, make or break year for him. I'm done with Laquan Treadwell. I mean, we'll just have to see, can he get his speed up? Can he run routes? I don't know. But for me, Kendall Wright should be the number 3 receiver. I don't want to hear anything about, well, what are the chances of Laquan Treadwell being the number 3 receiver? But you know what? With this regime, with this need to be right with every single pick and force feed them on the field, I wouldn't be surprised if Laquan Treadwell is still the number 3 receiver, even though I think he shouldn't be. And then not only that, last thing I want to talk about, I'm talking about Trey Waynes, how much I like him. Terrence Newman, okay, he's back. And again, for all those saying, oh, Trey Waynes, we can replace him with Mike Hughes. Again, the nickel corner spot is gone. We have the luxury of having Terrence Newman, okay? Terrence Newman is like 68 years old playing cornerback, okay? It is incredible. And I haven't talked about this, and you know what? I apologize that I haven't brought this up before. It is downright incredible what Terrence Newman is doing. He's coming back for whatever year he's playing in. But to play cornerback, usually a guy at his age, let me see how old this dude is real quick. I think is he 39? The fact that this dude still plays cornerback, he's 39 years old. He was born 1978, and he's still playing corner. Normally when you see players at that age, like cornerbacks at that age, as they get older, they move over to safety like Charles Woodson did. Why? Because you're guarding more space than anything else. And when you're guarding a receiver, especially as a cornerback, there's a lot of pressure on your knees, a lot of torque, power that you're using. The fact that and still productive, he's not just some dude that's like, I'm trying to get a check. He's still productive as hell. The fact that he's able to still do this, I don't know how long he can keep this up. I remember when he first came with the Vikings, I was like, oh, let's make him a safety. Why not? Because I was still down on Andrew Sendejo, but he's done a very good job. Last year was his career year. Shout out to Andrew Sendejo. But Terrence Newman has done a phenomenal job. He's been productive as hell. I don't know how this dude is able to keep up all that torque and power that he needs to keep up with these quick, younger receivers by a mile. Shout out to him, man. So anyway, we do this once a week. Mediokr at Best Sports Podcast. You can subscribe on YouTube or iTunes. Probably next week we'll come back, especially if there's any news going on. Always we'll do it This Week in Sports where I react to whatever it is going on in sports. I definitely appreciate all those that support the show. We'll see you next week.